by far. She's the Everest of conversion rate optimization. And she's going to present you things about retention rate. How are you able to keep and to further grow your company on the long run through the power of retention rate. So hello, Talia, and thanks for joining me.
Hi, that was a crazy introduction, but thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited to get started and talk about retention today. Um, you guys can hear us, which is great, hopefully. And if you can, just let me know in the chat that you can hear us, just so I know that everything's okay. That's always good. And then I think I'm going to start. So I'm going to turn off my video, and what we'll do is I will present, and you guys just ask me. Thank you, Samantha. As many questions as you want, and Valentin will just ask them at the end so that we can have a discussion and you can grill me. So let me just turn off my video. Video off and share my desktop. Okay. So if you guys can just let me know verbally, because I can't see the chat anymore, that you can see everything and everything's working, that would be great.
Yeah, Talia, everything is fine. So the stage
Perfect.
is yours.
Great, thank you. Okay, guys, so today I am going to be talking to you about retention optimization. This is actually one of the most important fields that I get to work in, and I think to me it's so incredibly important because so many people forget about it. We've focused so much about driving new traffic to our website, getting new customers, and we don't focus enough on retention. So hopefully today we'll be able to kind of give you not just the tactics, because tactics is okay, but the strategies that you can use to really optimize your retention program and turn those customers into life valued repeating customers. So just to give you an idea, this is me. I am the founder and chief optimizer of GetUplift. What I do is conversion optimization training that focuses on psychology, persuasion, essentially the customer. And I'll get into this maybe a bit later, but you guys can find me on Twitter if you want to tweet to me. And here's what we're going to learn today, okay? So the first thing is what makes people buy more of the same thing, okay? Really important because we need to understand the psychology behind purchasing. The three pillars of a high converting retention strategy and tested and proven tactics for increasing retention. Now, these are proven tactics that I've tested or my clients have tested or I've seen people test that I know are generating amazing results, and I only want to bring you the best things. Now, today's webinar is really jam-packed with tips and tactics and strategies. So my suggestions for you guys is if you're like me, grab a pen and paper, or if you're more advanced, then open a new note or a Google Doc, because there's going to be a lot to write down. You guys are going to leave this webinar with so much to do on a good, that's a good thing. Okay, so let's get started. Most marketers believe that the path to a high converting funnel is basically consisting of three parts, right? You drive traffic to your landing page, you analyze the results on your landing page, and you optimize them, right? So you drive traffic to the landing page and you convert people. And that's basically where it ends. Once a person arrived on your web or your landing page and they converted, done, finish. But I think everyone here knows, and it's something that's been repeated so many times, that it is 5 times effective to retain a customer than acquire a new one. So it really is so important to do that. And in fact, according to RJ Metrics, the most successful e-commerce businesses focus on lifetime value. And what they do is if they do this, they see over $600,000 in monthly revenue after just 6 months in business. And they actually acquire new customers 3.5 faster than their competition, just because they're focusing on retention. I actually want to tell you something really interesting. So there is a 20% chance of a customer repeating a purchase. So they've come to your store, they've or to your website, they've converted. There's a 27% chance that they will convert again. Once they've done that twice, actually a 45% chance for a third purchase, and there is a 54% chance fourth purchase. So it really is incredible that if you get the ball rolling, if you manage to turn that one-time customer just into a two-time customer, that which means she will come to your website and convert the next time, or purchase one more time, you are more likely to convert them for the third time and the fourth time. Surprisingly, although new visitors generate the most site traffic, so when you think about it, most of the marketing budgets are spent on driving more traffic, right? They actually, only drive 41% of a site's revenue. So think about it. You're pouring all of your money into driving traffic to your website, but it's only 41% of the site's revenue, of a business's revenue. Returning visitors generate 59% revenue for a business. So we're spending less marketing budget on returning visitors, on retention, and yet they're driving more revenue. Now, in my opinion, too often the discussion around retention is like simple tactics, right? It's about getting people to just purchase for the second time quicker. And I think retention is a lot more than just that. It's about it's not just getting that second purchase, it's you trying to actually change your customers' buying habits and connect them on a deeper level to you. So if you think about it, when you go to any shop, of like a brick and mortar shop, like think about going to the supermarket. When you go to the store, you actually gravitate immediately to the same stuff, right? There's a reason for that. It's the way we make a decision. Now, the root of every conversion is our decision-making process. And it doesn't matter if you're selling cardboard boxes, if you have a heavy B2B SaaS product, if you're selling toilet paper. The only way to actually optimize your funnels and create a high converting retention program is by understanding your customers. And you need to understand their decision-making process. If you understand what makes people buy, you'll have a better idea of what your entire retention program should look like. So what we'll do first is we'll take a look at what makes people become loyal customers, what makes people purchase stuff again and again. So I started mentioning this before. A good deal of our purchases are made when we're sleepwalking through the aisles. We gravitate to our default, just the same as you grab the same brand of milk, the same brand of toilet paper or sugar without giving other products a second thought, right? And the reason is because we're creatures of habit. Psychologically, our brains prefer the constant, and we tend to repeat our previous actions. So think about it, when you're working on retention, when you're working on getting that person to repeat a purchase or a conversion, it's not just hoping that they're going to make another purchase. It's about changing their entire habit. It's about making them feel that you are the status quo. And that is actually called the status quo bias. Now, there are other biases that affect our decision-making process. My favorite one is the post-purchase rationalization bias. And this is most commonly known as choice supportive bias. It's actually a trigger that affects our tendency to persuade ourselves through rational argument, okay, that the purchase we just made was a good one. So you go to a store, you buy something incredibly expensive, and when you get back home, you have a gazillion reasons to why that purchase was really a good one. Even though you might feel a bit bad about it, you want to feel good about it. So you explain to yourself that it was a good one, and you repeat the same purchase to kind of reassure yourself that you're making the same decision and it's a good one. Your online shoppers do the same. They take additional steps after converting. They're committing further to your product to feel better about their decision. If you take away the opportunity to engage in post-purchase rationalization, basically, for example, if you take the opportunity to engage on your thank you page, you're going to miss out on big conversion opportunities. The last bias I want to talk about today is successive approximations. And this is kind of cute because the way it works, I really like this little graphic here, but once someone performs one small action, they're more likely to continue performing additional actions. It's just what we do. We actually feel obligated to go along with larger requests. And in marketing, we like to call this foot in the door. We get our customers to perform one action, like submitting their email address for an ebook, for example. And then we know that they will continue to give us more information about themselves if we asked for it, because they've already given us our email. So can you tell us more about your company, where you work, or what your goals are? Once a visitor has already taken the first steps on your landing page to convert, and that could be to sign up, to contact you, to request a demo, to purchase something, they will be far more likely to perform additional actions on your thank you page or via an email. And that's why retention is so important, because you actually have amazing opportunity to get people to come back immediately after their first purchase. You don't have to wait 2 weeks before you send an email. You have to actually get people to act immediately. So if we think about creating a successful retention program, it's about forming habits. Now, habits are those little things we do without noticing, like picking our phone up when we have no one to talk to. Does anyone do this? I used to do this quite a lot. Like, you feel a bit uncomfortable, you don't know who's looking at you, it's embarrassing, you pick up your phone because you have to be doing something. It's a habit. It's an action that's rooted in our behavior, and it's become a habit. Now, to form a habit within your customers, you need to understand your customers' pain and then ingrain that in their minds that you are the immediate solution, the medicine. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but in his book, Hooked, this is Nirayal, he explains the 4 steps of turning your solution into a habit. I just want to quickly go through this. The first step is a trigger. So you're grabbing your customer's attention through an email, a notification on an app, on their phone, an interesting image on your social feeds. That's a trigger, so they notice you. Then the next one is action. The simple action that follows that trigger and the anticipation for its reward. So if you think about it, for me, it's that getting people to just like open that app. So you sent a notification, or someone saw a post in your social feed. It's that motivation that they have because you just triggered it. So that's the action. We want them to perform an action and become kind of more triggered to actually doing something. And the idea is that the more they act, the more they're going to do it. Then there's variable reward, and email is a great example here. So the reward of opening an email is getting rid of all the notifications from your inbox. I don't know about you, but I hate when I have those red notifications on my app. It's like I have to go into every single one. I don't have them. They drive me nuts. That is actually a reward, right? So email also acts as anticipation trigger. So when we're opening it up, we're maybe hoping for new business. We're hoping to hear from a loved one. So that's also it's a trigger, and it's a reward. For example, another reward you can think about is that you post something on Facebook and you get people to like it. People comment. That is an amazing reward. And that's actually the key to getting people hooked onto your service. And the last one is investment. So this is where the customer takes an action and starts investing back into your product. Now, the investment isn't necessarily to do with paying. It's about taking an action that will improve the service next time they use it. So it could be inviting friends, it could be completing a profile, it could be earning points for certain actions. Each time they take an action, they become more committed, and the excitement towards the reward grows. And that's how Muriel explains the way to form habit within your customers. You trigger, you get an action, you reward them, and then they invest back. So we discussed what makes people buy more of the same thing. And now we're going to be talking about the 3 pillars of a high converting retention strategy. Next, we'll talk about the tested and proven tactics. But here's the thing, the 3 pillars of a high converting strategy. So these are my 3 rules that I follow every time I optimize a retention program for my clients, or when I'm teaching this in my courses. Okay, so this is my stuff that I truly believe in, and I've tested hundreds of times and I've seen work, okay? So the first rule, the first pillar is make it about the customer. This is actually the holy grail of my methodology, which applies to all aspects of marketing, and of course, retention. So when you stop making it about yourself and you make it about your customers, you'll grow a fierce following of loyal customers. Now, most companies make it about themselves. They highlight their pricing, their features, their benefits, their rewards. Those who actually stop talking about themselves and highlight the customer's value will win the customer. And I want to show you an example of how you can increase your retention rates even before someone becomes your customer. And what I mean by that is you can start working on retention and making it about the customer from the top of the funnel. Here's an example. So this is a website that I worked with, a really cool product that helps you create beautiful presentations and infographics. And if you look at their website, you'll notice that everything here is about them. So easy to use info creator, all these bullets about the features. Then you have this how to use video, which is their main image. Think about it. Their main image on the homepage is actually a video that shows you how to drag and drop and use the product. So everything here is about the customer. About the product. And when we did our research, we actually found out that the customers here are marketers, and their goal is to stand out. They want to feel like they're creating something much different than anyone else is doing with PowerPoint or with Google with spreadsheets or whatever it is, keynotes and stuff like that. So it is important to actually show the customer and that it's them, and you're going to help them become that amazing marketer. Create those amazing infographics everyone's going to remember and think about, wow, Talia really knows her stuff. Like, she created that beautiful presentation or that beautiful infographic, and I'm definitely going to remember her. That's what our marketers, our customers for this product were looking for. So we created this variation, and you can immediately see there's a huge difference, right? But let me just quickly walk you through the changes. So instead of saying the infographic creator, we're now saying make impressive infographics. So we're highlighting the outcome for the customer. Create beautiful infographics in less than 10 minutes. We're telling them, empowering them that they can do this really simply, and we're making it about them. We're showing them the outcome of what they could create, the beautiful creation of the presentation. And we actually reduce the bullet points to really kind of make sure that it only focuses on what these people care about. Now, what did our clients say before we launched this test? Here's the feedback that we got. We need to highlight more benefits. It doesn't highlight the product and what it does. So that was the first thing that we heard back from our clients. They were like, I don't think this is going to work. We need to talk more about our product. We need to make it more about us. But we ran the test. That's what's great about conversion optimization. And what's really cool is we got this, got 24% increase in registrations. And here's the cool thing. We got a 76% in creation of presentations. What this means is that people signed up, paid, and then created a presentation and kept coming back. So we not only increased the signups, which is great, so we increased the top part of the funnel, but we increased the retention, the engagement with the product, just by making it about them. And this is actually a simple rule for everything. No matter what you're selling, what people really care about isn't the what, it's the why, okay? Now, why did this work? Because we made it about the customer, okay? The customer could immediately see in it for her. That was, this was what I showed you right now. That was an example of winning retention from the top part of the funnel. But obviously, you can do this at the end of the funnel, right? When you're actually doing retention. So one of my favorite places to do retention is on a thank you page. Not many people use thank you pages, and I'll get to this later on in the webinar today. But here's what we did. To increase onboarding and retention immediately after someone converts, you need to get people to take the next step. So for this product, which is basically, this funnel requires people to click on download. Okay, you download the product, and then you have to click on this little thingy here to open it up and start the installation. So people have to actually start installing the program. Now, their thank you page just said install. Okay, many didn't even complete that setup, that step. But by simply reminding the customer what's in it for them, which is click here to protect your files, we increase product implementation by 39%. So think about it. They got a right? They got the download as if that is the most important thing. But what's really important is getting people to install the platform, to install the product. And instead of just saying, hey, don't forget to click this button and install the product, we said, click here to protect files. We reminded them that it's about them, what the value is for them, and we're not talking about ourselves. Now, when you make it about them, it's simple. They care, they read on, they convert, they return, and that is what you want. So first pillar, make it about them, okay? If you turn the conversation from me to what is the value for my customer and how can I show it on the page, you'll be winning the first pillar of retention. Next pillar, the second, number 2, is build trust and form relationships. This is one of the most important parts of a retention program. If people don't trust you, if you don't have a relationship with them, they won't come back. In fact, 83% of us say their loyalty is driven by trust. Trust is one of the most important parts of increasing sales and retention. If customers feel secure, they're more prone to come back and become loyal customers. So that is incredibly important. How can you build trust and form relationships? So I'm going to give you a few ideas, and we'll get into them a little more later down. But the first one is recognition. So returning to remember them. If it's via a cookie or if it's the fact that they signed up so you want to have them logged in, show them that you know them with a welcome back message, with a notification about their progress, or perhaps even show them, who of their friends has just shopped on your site or just signed up on your website. It's a simple Facebook widget. Recognizing people, showing them that you know them, builds trust and forms a relationship. Next up, personalization. Everyone likes to talk about personalization, right? Now, guys, we see about 10,000 messages a day. Our brains are tired. People are constantly trying to reach us with text messages, with dozens of a lot of information. So we want to be told what to do. Personalization takes that the next step. If you can show people the information that they care about, which is using their geographical location, showing customers that you know them by showing the content that they want to know, showing them that you know them by showing local currency, or that you're shipping to their town, or that you have a local phone number for them to use, or a local office address. All these contribute to a sense of safety and a well-known feeling. We have social proof, which is important in retention too, not just the top of the funnel. So you have to keep reminding them and highlight new reviews and testimonials of products to just and remind them that you have the power in numbers and people can trust you. There's email marketing, which I'm not going to get into because there's so many things, and we have a whole section about that. But obviously, email is a great way to create a connection with your customers, form a relationship, and increase retention. Now, the rule number 3 of a high converting strategy for retention is engage your customers. Okay, engagement. Too many people and businesses, I would say, not people, are worried about engaging their customers. They don't want to email them. They don't want to contact them because they think that they are harassing them or they're annoying them. But I'm here to tell you that 62% of consumers report that brand engagement is more likely to make them a loyal customer. And furthermore, 33% of customers don't renew memberships for lack of engagement. So if you don't engage your customers, if you don't talk to them, if you don't remind them that you're here, they're not going to come back. So I know sometimes it's worrying to send many emails and you're worrying about spam, but if you have the right content and you're not spamming, you have an obligation to help your customers and form that engagement with your customers and help them come back to you. Now, engaging customers, there's a few cool ways to do this. So one is gamification. So every element of gamification actually addresses the 4 steps of the hook model by Muriel. You get them invested in your product. You allow them to set goals for themselves or earn points for reviewing items or writing recommendations or sharing their purchases. Gamification works amazingly. As I said, we have email marketing. It is still the largest driver of purchases. So you can use email marketing to connect and engage with your customers. Another cool way to engage with people is with surveys and chats. Reach out to people, offer help, connect with your customers. It also obviously helps you learn more about them. We have building a community. So a great way to engage your customers is to have a Facebook group, or maybe a Twitter hashtag, or a forum that people can, comment, post, engage, and basically interact with fellow customers. If you have that community, you're engaging people on an ongoing basis. Then you might also want to host webinars. If you're a B2B company, a great way to actually provide more value, engage people in real time, is to host these webinars. And the last one is content, which I guess is a part of all of this, right? You can offer exclusive content, PDFs, white papers, cheat sheets, anything that will interest your clientele. So what did we learn so far? We discussed what makes people buy, and we discussed the 3 pillars of a high converting retention strategy. Now I want to get to you with you into the tactics, which are really important. So first thing I'm going to be talking to you about is thank you pages. Now, it is our job as marketers to basically make people take the next step in our thank you pages. Too many times I see people using a pop-up. So someone converts, and you have a pop-up telling you, oh, thank you for subscribing, downloading, thank you for contacting us, wait to hear from us in your email. But people are on that page. People have just converted. Remember the foot in the door technique. You can actually get them to take another step right within the thank you page, okay? So this is a great way to utilize thank you pages to increase retention. And I want to show you some amazing ways companies have used thank you pages to increase their retention. The step number 1 is actually validating leads. Here's a great way to do it. So this is a client of mine that I helped increase retention. And what we did is we put the CEO on the thank you page, and we said, hi, thank you, for contacting us. Someone from my team will contact you soon. But in the meantime, would you like to tell us more about your business? And I don't have to fill this in, but they're on the page. So why not? If they fill it in, you now have a hot lead, someone who took the time to fill in this information and let you know what they care about. If they didn't, then okay, you still have the first information. But, doing this from a personal note from Carolyn, one of the founders of the business, we really were engaging customers. We were connecting with them. We were building that trust and creating a relationship with them by letting them know, hey, this is Carolyn. So this is a great way to increase the quality of the leads for your sales team. And it actually helped us increase direct sales by over 50%. So that's one way of using a thank you page. The other way to use a thank you page is to deliver the content that they want. So basically, you can use the choice supportive bias. We said people want to feel good about their purchase. So what you can do is invite them to read previous reviews, testimonials, case studies on your website. And what it does is it increases the sense of trust. Even if people don't actually click on these stories by people of how amazing Infusionsoft was for them, they're seeing that many people have succeeded with them. And that helps them feel good about their purchase, and it makes them want to come back and use the product. Another company that does this really well, so they actually just offer a few case studies here for you to look at and read while you're waiting to hear back from the sales team. Another way of utilizing thank yous is research. So, for me, the most important thing is to learn as much as possible about your customers. You want to learn a lot about them. And many times people don't fill in surveys, they won't answer your emails, but you can just ask them one specific question. That's all. Like, why did you sign up? What is your biggest problem? Or, how they believe you solved their problem, if that was something that you did. Just one question, and it really is a great way to gather more data about your customer. They just converted. Why not find out more about them so that then you can learn more about all your customers? Next up for me is promoting your blog. Okay, if you don't have the resources to start building which you can use plugins, but if you don't have the resources to put in a survey or if you don't have case studies yet or these kind of things, you can just send people to your blog, right? It's a great way to just say, well, thank you. Why don't you go to the blog right for now? You keep them on your website. They're on they're on your site. They're viewing more content. They're gradually investing more in your product, and they're engaging with you. Another thing you can actually do on a thank you page is increase shareability and distribution. These are two cool examples. Many companies do. You've requested an invite. Why don't you get in sooner? So share this on Facebook, share this on Twitter, and you will get access for X, Y, and Z. I'm actually doing this right now myself. So I have a free email course that I'm teaching right now, and anyone who signs up on the thank you page is invited to refer the free course, to 3 friends. And if they get their 3 friends to sign up to the email course, they actually get access to a live training with me. So it's a great way to increase the signups for my free email course, right? And actually, I think I've seen a 20% conversion, 20.1, I think it was this morning when I was looking, for people who are referring their friends. That's amazing. So I have a bunch of people who signed up, and they are referring other people. They're doing the distribution for me, just from a simple pop-up on a thank you page. Another thing you can do is advertise a specific promotion. Okay, thank you for downloading. Why don't you try this specific promotion that we have? Send better email, try Litmus for free. This is their specific offer. It doesn't have to be an offer. I'm less inclined to kind of promote a specific product or an offer. I like to give people more value so that they feel that you're engaging with them, that you're creating a relationship, but it's also an option. And obviously, the easiest thing you can do is get people to sign up for your newsletter. So they've converted, ask them, want to get more information, up, or check this checkbox, and you've got them in your list so you can continuously market to them, talk to them, add them to your drip campaign. Great way to just segment them according to their preferences and purchase behavior. So if someone essentially converted on your website for a certain product and they agree to be on your newsletter, you now can segment them. This is the product that they bought, or this is the service that they converted to, and you can then send those emails. So thank you pages, huge opportunity that people forget about. I really, really urge you to start using thank you pages in a better way. Okay, the next tactic is email marketing. As I said, there's so much you can do with email marketing. I just want to say that there is more to email marketing than just sending a thank you email. I guess that's part of what I'm teaching in the email marketing course. There's so much more, and people aren't using it. So one way that I like to see is, so Forever Lazy, I am kind of crazy about onesies. I buy a lot of them. So Forever Lazy sends you a form to review them. If you, review us, we will give you a coupon for 10% off your next purchase. Great way to learn more about your customers. Great way to get, feedback and customers, because now I have a 10% coupon. I'm definitely going to want to use it. Another way to use post-purchase email is actually progress emails. Sorry. Excuse me. So what they do is moments before, and this is the Dollar Shave Club, I think. Yes. So before they actually send the package to you, you've bought something, they send you an email saying, these products will also be interesting to you, so do you want to add them to your package before we ship to you? This is really cool because essentially you're getting people to add more products immediately after they converted. Now, these emails, when you're telling people about, maybe the production of the product or the packaging updates, or maybe a picture of you and smiling, actually Omniconvert sent us such a cute GIF for the new year. I was so impressed with it. It was a cute GIF of everyone in the company just, happy holidays, or was it Happy New Year? Sorry. I loved it. And it was a great way to just increase that trust, increase that engagement, build that relationship. I was looking at that GIF, I was like, that team is so cool. I love that they did that. Right? So when you send these post-purchase emails that give you more information, tell you more about your thing, more than just like, oh, thank you for purchasing. You increase the sense of trust. You set customers at ease. This is a reliable company, and my package is on its way. You create a stronger connection with your customers by introducing them to your staff, like Omniconvert did. Hey, wow, these guys have a lot of people. Wow, they're really nice people. And you get excitement and anticipation, right? Because wow, I wonder what else I'm going to be getting from these guys. So definitely try to utilize your post-purchase emails in a better way, more than just saying, well, thank you for your purchase, we'll be in touch. Another thing you can do with email marketing is leverage loss aversion. Loss aversion refers to people's tendency to strongly prefer avoiding losses to acquiring gains. So in fact, most studies suggest that the discomfort the discomfort that we feel with loss twice as painful, or as powerful, I should say, as the pleasure in gain. So we would much more want to avoid a loss than enjoy a gain. We may not need these products. Now, if you look at this email, right, today's the last day, limited time. Order now, only today, last call to order, all these kind of triggers that are creating, I'd say, a panic, but more of just that sense of loss aversion. I don't want to miss out. Great way. Use that in your email. Oops. Create brand ambassadors. So the Skim is an awesome product service that sends you skimmed news every single day. And what they do with their email marketing is, when you are a year in the product, you've been using the product for a year, you actually get an email saying that, hey, if you share this with your friends, you will get some really nice, so t-shirts and stuff. It's a really cool way to get distribution, shareability. You're increasing the relationship and getting a relationship with your customers, engaging your customers and getting them to actually promote you, and giving them a cool gift that they will then walk around wearing your swag. So create brand ambassadors. Think about that when you're writing your next email. Another cool thing that Nextdoor does is they leverage social identity theory. So presenting yourself as a community in your emails, inviting people to join you on Facebook, on Instagram, or other social platforms, actually enhances the sense of commitment to your brand. Because being part of a group allows us to differentiate ourselves between them and us. That is really important for us. That's a social identity theory. To identify with brands and groups, it's why in pricing pages you have the gold membership and the silver membership. In a certain group, I can identify who I am and who they are. Now look at Nextdoor. They say, Greater Sullivan is now on Nextdoor, a private neighborhood social network. Join our neighborhood. So only people in this neighborhood can join. Only people that know this person can be or are part of this area can join the neighborhood. So great way to kind of get people to feel like us versus them. Okay, we talked about email marketing. We talked about emails. The last thing we're going to be talking about today is personalization and how to do that. A few quick tips, and then we're going to get into questions. So number one thing, save them time. People expect you to know them and recognize them. Remember, this is part of the recognition, of gaining trust, of making people feel at ease. I haven't actually signed into Screened for like 30 days. And yet when I went in, you can see I'm not signed in, but it still says, hey, you have something in your shopping cart, just by remembering cookies. So great way to just show people that you remember them, you know them. If they have been to your website, then you can actually just say, hey, I know you've been to my website. And there are really cool tools you can use to actually do that. Let's leverage that first pillar, the first rule of a high converting retention strategy. Make it about them. So other than sending customers personalized suggested items to their mailbox, One Kings Lane, this is the email we're looking at right now, also uses the power of scarcity to increase sales. So notice how it says, okay, here are things that you will like, but it also says, this is something that there's only 5 of it left. Don't forget to buy it. Great way. So you're leveraging personalization and telling people the products that they will like, and you're making them feel that they're going to miss out on something. Pinterest also does that. They send personalized emails that connect you to other people who are pinning the same stuff. And that actually also highlights the sense of that community we were talking about. So I know that I piled a lot on you today. We spoke about, what makes people buy, and we kind of went into the fact that we're creatures of habits, and we want things to be simple and easy. We want to be told what to do. So we want to feel good about our purchases, and this is what we continuously buy over and over the same product. We also discussed the 3 pillars of high converting retention strategy. Make it about the customer, engage your customers, and build trust, form relationships. And lastly, we spoke about the tested and proven tack for increasing your retention. And that is with thank you pages, using email marketing with more than just that thank you email, and true personalization. Now, I'd be happy to take your questions. If you guys would like to, I have some free resources on my website to do with persuasion and psychology. Feel free to grab those. And I think I'm ready to take your questions. Let me just stop sharing.
It was excellent. Thanks a lot, Talia. So here we are.
I'm back.
Talia, I have the right to ask you the first question as I'm here. The rest of you can just type your questions over in the chat box. So the main question is not regarding how to improve the retention rate, but it's just based on your own experience. You are in contact with a lot of experts, with a lot of people, with a lot of business owners. Why the heck they are not paying attention to the retention? Why do you think, what's the logic of it? Do you think it's about maturity, or it's about know-how, or why do you think they are not focusing on this KPI?
It's a good question. I think that mainly it's because with acquisition, when you're getting new customers, it's easy. If I am spending a certain budget on driving traffic to my website, I can immediately see the results. With retention, it's harder. It takes time. You can put out a whole series of drip emails. You can work on those thank you pages. You can do all these things, but it will take you a much longer time to see the results and see if people keep coming back, if people are still, engaging with you. And that's something that takes time. And I think that people want that immediate reward. It's also hard to justify it to your managers if you're working in house. And even if you're your own, business owner, you want to see immediate results. And I think that people feel a lot more comfortable with the things that they've been doing for a long time, like Facebook ads, Google ads and stuff. But it's harder. It takes a lot more work to really get to know your customers and create that retention program that will really help them and see those results.
Talia, it's cutting it. I couldn't hear the last 20 seconds, but that's fine. Someone is asking if you can share the link to your resources.
Yeah, to the resources. No problem. I'll do that in a second.
Okay. And till then, I can ask you. Do you think there are? Do you need different strategies for retention, or maybe, of course, you need different strategies for retention if you're running a SaaS business or if you're running an e-commerce business? But which are the common things? I mean, at the beginning, you've stated very clearly that it's always about the customer and his needs and his expectations and his emotions. But if you can come up with different approaches in terms of retention for SaaS companies or retention for e-commerce companies.
Well, I definitely think it's different because with e-commerce, you're buying a commodity, you're buying a product. With B2B, you're usually buying a service or a SaaS product. It's
Yeah.
different, but the pillars are still the same. What people care about is still the same. Too many times, people base a lot of their strategies on data. They look at their customers like points on the map, geographical locations, age, not or the device that they're using, the browser. When you get to know your customer better, when you get into their mind, it doesn't matter if it's a B2B or an e-commerce site. Or when you get into your customer's mind, it's easier for you to know what emails to send, what visuals you should be using, what content they're looking for. So, difference in how you get to that retention and how you research or how you get to it. But obviously, the way you speak to people, what you do is going to be different.
Okay. Sumanta is asking if you can disclose strategy for B2B SaaS company.
For retention.
Yeah.
Well, I think the secret for B2B for SaaS is customer interviews. I find that for me, that has been the greatest, best tool I have ever had to really create better B2B retention programs, because I get to hear firsthand what they care about, what they want to see, what matters to them. So, customer interviews is really important. And when it comes to a strategy, I think with B2B is really important. You have to find the voice of your brand, and you have to know what content this person is looking for.
Okay. Excellent. Uh, I can state something here because I'm running a SaaS company which is B2B oriented. I think one of the most important thing is to take a look at the first 24 hours retention curve. So once you have a new customer or a new prospect, actually a new user, you should take a look at how many of your users are actually using the product in the next 24 hours. And this drop, I mean, by just improving these metrics, so instead of having the retention from 100% of new users, let's say you can keep only 15 or 20%. By improving this 15 to 20% to 50 or 60%, then it's a great deal, because the retention rate starts to flatten after the first 2-3 days for any software as a service product. So mainly, if you can increase in the first 24 hours, which are crucial, then the next of users are actually gonna stick to your product, and that's for the, let's say, retention, the first day's retention and activating them. But there are also strategies for keeping them engaged with your product, and this has a lot to do with time to first value and to the stickiness, the ongoing stickiness, and the perception about the value. Because as we can see, we are living in a world of perception, not of the real thing, right?
Yeah.
We also have another question from Sonia. What is the how extremely can you go to know your customers? So she's really interested about that. But how far can you go by knowing them? What type of data do you think is valuable to know about them?
Good question. I'm going to turn off my video because I think it's breaking up a bit. So hopefully that
Yeah.
will help. Okay.
So that's only me here. Okay, I'm cutting it as well.
So how well can you get to know your customers? As well as possible. When I say get to know your customers, I know most people think I'm talking about the data, but I'm actually talking about the personal things. So I started talking about this at the beginning, that we need to understand why people buy products, why people purchase things. And while we mainly think that people buy on rationale, because we go for a rational procedure, we actually buy on emotion. When we buy something, there's an emotional driver behind it. And when I tell you to get to know your customer, I want you to find out what your customers' main concerns are. What are their hesitations? What are the number one thing that they want? What is the outcome that they're hoping to get there, to get out of using your product or your solution? It is imperative to get to know them more than just looking at how old they are or what device they're using, but to really understand their internal mechanism of decision making. What is behind it? You see, when you're buying something, you're not buying a product, you're not buying a commodity, you're buying a better version of yourself. You're buying, I'm buying a insurance, and I'm buying safety. I want to feel safe. If I'm buying clothes, I'm not really buying clothes, I'm buying a better self-esteem about myself. So everything you buy has an internal reason to it. And that's where you want to go. You want to go deep into understanding what are the real motivations of your customers to using your product or your solution. And then when you have that, when you know that stuff, it's so much easier to create the content that they want and create those solutions and even build a better product for them.
Okay, excellent. So, Talia, I think we don't have any questions left. We can wrap this up. Thanks a lot for being here. Thanks a lot for sharing all this great info. And guys, if you need more info, I'm sure you can follow her on Twitter and on LinkedIn, and also you can go to GetUplift. So that's it from us. See you at the next webinar.
Bye. Thank you.